Welcome, FNusa57 here. I am back on my Xbox One, and today I am bringing you another achievement guide. This video will be going over the forest for the trees. It's a relatively easy achievement here on State of Decay 2. What you have to do is claim a base in the Providence Ridge map. It's worth 30 gamer score and currently has a 2.37% unlock rate, which is surprisingly low for how easy this achievement is. I'll show you two ways of getting it. This achievement is part of the most recent update and overhaul to State of Decay 2 here. It is one achievement of 7 achievements that they added, worth a total of 150 gamer score. I do have one of them already, which is called the Game Is Afoot, and that one is for accepting a bounty from the bounty broker, also a low unlock rate. But that, I do believe, is because it is not retroactive. First of all, I should mention that the Forest for the Trees achievement is host locked, meaning you must be the host in order to get this achievement. It will not unlock if you are in co-op, or at least it did not for me when I was testing it. So there are two ways to go ahead and get this achievement. I will show you both ways here in just a second. Keeping in mind that this is part of the Juggernaut update, State of Decay 2 Juggernaut edition update that they just came out with, and that is now available on Game Pass. So they did change a lot of things. If you are a new player to the game, you do have the option of doing this the easy way, or if you simply want the achievement and that's all you want to do, you don't want to explore the new map, there's an easy and fast way to do it, and then there's a slightly more complicated way to do it. Keeping in mind, I do have achievement guides for the Heartland DLC, the Daybreak DLC, and the base game DLC posted on my YouTube channel, so if you need any, just ask. Anyways, easy method first. For those of you that are achievement hunters, you can go under the new main menu, campaign, and you're going to go to manage communities, select a empty save slot. If you have just started the game, then obviously you can go through the tutorial. If you're a returning player, then you can skip the tutorial, and you will be able to select the map you wish to play on. So there's Providence Ridge, which is the one you need for the achievement, Cascade Hills, the Valley, which is the map that I usually play on, Ducker County, and of course a random map. Go ahead and hit accept, pick your survivors, load in, and when you finish securing your very first base, you will get the achievement. However, if you wish to move one of your existing communities over and still get the Forest for the Trees achievement, what you want to do is you want to pick your community that you wish to transfer over. It does not matter what difficulty you are on. However, I prefer to move my standard community to a new area as opposed to my dread community, which, as you can see, I have this community here that I did the 100 days in a dread zone. I do have that achievement guide posted, but go ahead and select your current community and go through the loading screen, which that does take a second here. But once you get into the game, there's going to be a couple things that you want to do, and a few things that did change. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to search for new maps, and this is basically what you had to do before in order to switch maps with your current community. Relatively easy to do, but it can take over 20 minutes depending on how well stocked and upgraded your community is. So I will do a little cut and cut out that loading time, but they changed a couple things. You used to be able to transfer maps when you had other people in your game. You can no longer do that. So if you're going to transfer a map, you must do it solo, which means you're limited on what you can transfer from one map to another. So if you have an established community and have been thoroughly looting like I have, then there's going to be a few prep things that you need to do. Now, my community here is not as big as my community on the Dread Zone playthrough, but I like to be here on the Valley map, and I really like to go ahead and use this particular facility right here, which is the brewery. This one is just the one that works out the best for me. And this way, none of my survivors are hungry. You know, I don't have any issues. But my community is pretty beefed up. So as you can see, I do have a number of vehicles, which most people use for storage. And these vehicles will not transfer with you. Some of your vehicles will transfer. I'm still testing that, but most of your vehicles will not transfer. So what you want to do to get started is go ahead and open your base menu. And you're going to need to click on the command center. And then you're going to want to do this research new territories. Now, depending on what your upgrades are, this could take longer than what you see for me. For me, it's only 8 minutes, 36 seconds. But before you initialize that, while everything will dismantle itself and transfer, I like to always be thorough and manage my facility mods and then uninstall my facility mods. It's just a personal pet peeve because I have lost facility mods when transferring worlds, and certain things are harder than others to get when it comes to the facility mods. So that's why I generally recommend like your fertilizer bags and satellite dishes, your ammo presses if you do have any. You want to go ahead and break everything here down. So any storage you have, you want to go ahead and remove the storages, and then everything else you can leave the way that it is. If you are using Red Talon prefabs, you can break those prefabs down just to make sure that you're not actually going to lose them, but everything else you'll be fine with. So you don't have to do that. I just prefer to do that. Next step, you're going to go ahead and hit the Research New Territories button. And while that is going, this gives you an opportunity to get the rest of your stuff ready. So if you have material that you can't transfer, you can go ahead and put it into rucksacks, and then you can give the rucksack to one of your characters. The more characters that you have, the more rucksacks you can carry, because each character can carry one rucksack. So if you have something you want to bag up, you can go ahead and bag it up, put it on your character, and go through it that way. Next up, you will want to make sure that your inventory is ready. So have a good ranged weapon, a good melee weapon. I recommend bringing a tank of gas and a repair kit, as well as some sort of healing item. Now, I also carry a 50 cal sniper rifle for dealing with juggernauts, but that is totally not required for the achievement. The vehicles that should transfer with you to the new base will be the ones parked in your parking slots. So you want to make sure that if you have rucksacks that you wish to transfer, you put them into those vehicles. Now, when I tested this with my friend, the vehicles in the parking slots transferred, but the other vehicles did not. So I cannot say for 100% certainty which vehicles you would get. I just recommend that you go ahead and put your best ones that you want to keep in the parking slots, or have it be the vehicle that you're driving. So for instance, the vehicle that I'm going to be driving is going to be this utility truck, and you can see that I have multiple rucksacks in the back there. That is not required for the achievement. That is merely just the best way to move resources. If you take a look at your community, which for some reason it does lag and freeze up a little bit when you go to the community tab. I'm not entirely sure why, but you want to make sure that every one of your community members has a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, because when you get to the new Providence map, you are going to be forced to go through a defense sequence to actually secure the new base. Relatively simple, of course, but just something that you should keep in mind. Now, as always, when transferring maps, your storage, supply locker, that comes with you, unless they ever change that, which would be hideous if they did. But you can always transfer those items by dropping them on the ground, having a friend pick them up, put them in his stash, and then transfer them back to your world. So at this point, once you have everything set up, all you have to do is wait out that timer, and then you'll be able to go to one of the many map exits. So basically every point off of the map is a map exit. I recommend before you do this, you finish up anything that you have to do. If you want to go ahead and pop an easy achievement while waiting, the achievement that I already unlocked is the Game Is Afoot. Like I said, it does not appear to be retroactive, at least for me. And all you have to do is accept a bounty from the bounty broker, which if you look on the map, you will see a enclave, and it will be labeled the bounty broker. You go there and accept one of his bounties, which as you can see, you have up to 3 active bounties, and then you just go do whatever the task is for that particular bounty. Now, that's very important because there's another achievement called the Bounty Collector, and yet another achievement called Collect 'em All, and yet another achievement called It Looks Good on You, Though. All of these achievements relate directly to bounty broker quests. So you are going to need to do a minimum of 5 bounties for the bounty broker in order to get those achievements as well. There's a lot of easy ones, which I will show you, but they do change every few months as they cycle new things in. With that being said, that's about all the prep work that you need to do. So you are free to roam and wait or do whatever you would like to, but you can also start heading towards the map exit. It's entirely up to you. I'll see you all in a minute. Alright, so now that that little task finished at the base, you'll get a pop-up that says you've discovered new territories. Obviously, you won't see that task is available anymore. It says region exit points available. So now what you have to do is you have to find the closest region exit point to you, or if there's a special one that you wish to use, it's entirely up to you. All it says is map exit, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. It's personal preference. You'll have the option to go ahead and simply choose the map that you want to go to instead of having to use a specific transfer point to go to a specific map. So just make your way as quickly and relatively safely without destroying your vehicle to the map exit, and then you'll be able to go through there. So we're just going to take a nice little short drive up to that map exit, and I'll show you the next screen. How you get there, whether you drive or not, is entirely up to you. Alright, so here we are, right at the map exit. It doesn't really matter which one you use. You just go towards the exit. Then you have 2 options. It says, once we leave, we can never come back. Our base, outposts, and enclave relationships will be abandoned, but you take as many resources as we can and break down the base. So, yep, we're going to go ahead and depart. I don't want to be on this world anymore. We want to choose the one map that matches the achievement. So once again, you're looking for this achievement right here. The forest for the trees. Claim a base in the Providence Ridge map. So you simply select Providence Ridge. Hit accept. I'm going to do it on standard zone. Once you go through that loading screen, you will have a little cinematic. You can skip it. Then you grab your base, and as soon as you finish securing it from the zombie horde, you will get your achievement, or sometimes your achievement will actually unlock before you finish securing the base. It's weird. For me, as you can see, the achievement unlocked while in the loading screen, whereas for my friend, the achievement didn't unlock until we actually finished securing the base from the zombies. Really weird. I'm not entirely sure the discrepancy there, but it's up to you. So once you go through onto this particular map, this is the first base that you will get. I'll show you what the map looks like. This is a little tiny base, so I would not recommend staying here very long. this is the map. It has some interesting features, being that all the plague hearts are highlighted on it. I'm not entirely sure why, but once again, you'll see the bounty broker is over here, so he's a little bit of a good distance away. There's a number of other base spots you can take over if you wish to. There's the fortified truck stop up here, also the fenced-in warehouse up here. If you want those, the larger bases, there's one down in this particular area. This is probably the best base, if I had to guess, or one of the two best bases. This is the Prescott Fire Station, and then there is also the lumber mill, which looks like it could be a good spot as well. Difference being it has a lot of large outdoor slots, with mostly small indoor slots and a few small outdoor slots, whereas the fire station has 2 large outdoor slots with a ton of small indoor slots and a ton of small outdoor slots. So I'm not entirely sure what the best base is. I will leave that up to you, but that's how you go ahead and get the Forest for the Trees achievement. And if you have any questions or anything like that, if you need any other achievement guides, feel free to ask. Feel free to check out my channel. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button and, of course, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.